All right.
Okay.
All right, so you ready?
Yeah, as long as we got the burp out of the way, I guess. Are you ready?
Ready as I'm gonna ever get. I guess we're gonna try to roll this fucker regardless.
Yeah. Yep, let's just roll it.
Okay, so,
Go ahead.
okay. It is Friday, December 8th, 2017, at 9:04 p.m. And
it's actually kind of early for us to start a commentary, isn't it, Tom? We usually, do these things, at least most of them had probably started at, at least 10 o'clock, you know? Some of them didn't even start till midnight, after midnight.
yeah. Well, and a few of them started before midnight and continued after midnight into the next day.
Yeah, right. Okay, so announce what's happening here?
Yes. So we announce what time it is, and it is now time for we're going to attempt to do a commentary on our late 2017 release of Free Anxiety Therapy for the Poor 102, which is, of course, the other half of 101, the Free Anxiety for the Therapy for the
Free Anxiety Therapy for the Poor 101.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. So, anything else you want to say before we started, or?
I don't think so. Let's just roll it and see where it goes, and we'll.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Let's roll it. So here we are, and by the way, I think we should mention that this kind of took a while.
Yeah. Oh my God. Holy crap. Part 102 is a fucking doozy.
Doozy.
Yeah. Part 101 went from nothing to, from scratch to finished in 2 months. The 3 parts, which totaled about 24.5 minutes long. The second part, which is a little bit longer, but not much, it's about 28 minutes. 3 parts, 8 to 10 minutes apiece, something like that. Took us a whole lot more time, and we did have a bump in the road with the computer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the old Mac crashed in February 2017, and we had to get a new one. That took, well, we had a new one in about a week and a half, but then we had to wait for the Logic, right?
Yeah, our good friend Bob White on Facebook, everybody knows his name, if they know him.
Yeah. We'll keep him incognito.
Yeah. He gave us a version of Logic, so but that was a month later, so we didn't even get started back on this until at least a month later. So it was March, April.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
The way you sound.
Well, what can I tell you?
Yeah, I know. We tried to practice Son's voice earlier and try to make it sound not, I don't know. I don't want to say better, but just not so weird. Or, I don't know what the word is, but we decided in the end that it should just still be this voice, right?
Yeah. So it's just I tried to improve it, but I couldn't. So fuck it. Here we are.
Yeah. And by the way, we should also mention the beer count and.
Yeah, we're just kind of dizzy. Yeah, and the beer count, you're right. Okay, so I think we just opened beer 5. We got 4 beers in us. Miller Lights, which we're on to now. Originally there was Miller High Life, and then we went to Miller High Life Light. Now we are just on the Miller Light. Because the Miller High Life Light had half the carbs that the regular Miller Light had. And then we realized that the regular Miller Light has half the carbs that the Miller High Life Light has.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So anyway, we shouldn't spend too much time talking about bullshit before we get into the commentary, Arizona. It's 5.5 minutes. Let's do something, Harry.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so anyway, it took us a long time, but we finally fucking finished. It was a fucking doozy. Here is Free Anxiety Therapy for the Poor, Part 102, the second half of the 101.
I'm sorry we had to have a sip of beer there, but we're on the prowl now, Tom, right? We're on the what the hell am I trying to say, Tom?
I think you're trying to say we're on the right track now or something. We're getting down to brass tacks or something.
Yeah. So are we? Let's roll it, bitch. Come on, man. It's 6 minutes in. Roll it.
All right, here we go. 101 Part 2. We will try to do commentary over this. Here we go. Here is Part 1 of Free Anxiety Therapy for the Poor, 102.
Okay, I know. I'm gonna talk over this right now, so I just want to mention right away, like, the first idea of this is that you had, or we had, whatever, the idea of, like, it being this, like, news kind of thing.
Yeah, well, originally I've had ideas before of, like, doing, like, a whole album based that had, the whole thing was based on, like, news, like, having it sound like the whole thing was, like, little in-between things that sounded like a news broadcast or something, but in the end it was kind of like easier to just maybe do one track that was like that, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like the laundry room song. We had an idea a long time ago, like, because we love old washers and ringer washers and all that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We always had this idea, like, doing a song, and so, like, about washers, and so, like, Zahn had recorded this track, like, 10 years ago, about, it was just a track of the ringer washer running, and then he had done this bass line to it, and then we just...
Oh, and then, after that, nothing happened for, like, 8 or 10 years, or, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 years, what, I don't even remember, we're fucking losing track, but, finally, just, about 6 months ago or so this year, we finally finished that thing. With the help, by the way, of our friend JV, which we should mention right now.
Yeah, for sure. Our friend JV, which we just kind of call him JV, because he's, well, okay, JV, we hope we don't mind, but we're going to plug you. Your name is Jamie Very and Jasmine V. We hope you're not mad at us for telling that.
Yeah, for sure. And also, not just that song, let's move on quickly here.
Yeah, for sure.
That he helped us with the Part 102. It's actually kind of the laundry song was actually kind of the first thing that HeelerZ put out that JV was on it, that another actual human being was on it all. And wait a minute, we mentioned he was on something else we mentioned before, but then,
yeah. Because we gave credit to him in another commentary, and we're like, yeah, first time we ever had, like, help from JV. Fuck it, man. Anyway.
Yeah, right. So, a lot of plugs to JV. Part 101, he wasn't on, but Part 102, he has given us some drum tracks, which we'll talk about, and also some various kind of trippy guitar tracks here and there and stuff like that, and also help with some of the mixing, so that's kind of a new thing for HeelerZ, which we were kind of...
Yeah, we were like really happy about, but at the same time we were kind of like, man, we love JV, but it's like, man, dude, how do HeelerZ feel about this? Should we take on another member? You know, well, anyway, you never know. There's the future. That's all I can say.
Yeah, right. Future, exactly. Anyway, we should probably talk about it.
Yeah. This is Part 102, Part 1. So we kind of went in with this news track, and I'm thinking about this right now, so I'm going to mention it, is that, well, with, like, Part 101, it was kind of, just about, oh my god, anxiety, and we're freaking out. And also, like, part 3, we mentioned in the commentary, obviously, that it kind of got self-indulgent again there. We were just kind of talking about us, you know, like Jamie and Zahn being one person and 2 people in the head and all that shit, you know.
Yeah, right. Right, and so we're moving on with part 2, which actually, well, I think with part 2, we kind of tried to tone down the self-indulgence and make it more helpful. I think in a way this kind of refers back to our album Before the Anxiety from 2016, Live to Tell the Story, because, you know, that was kind of trying to be a little more positive, and we're trying to, like, help some people, like some fucking family members and shit, which he'll never fucking get it, but whatever. It was, hey, the intention was there, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and so, like you said, yeah, it was like, 102 is a little more positive, even though we try to make the, like, Zahn, you're trying to make more, the music sound kind of more trippy and shit, but,
Right. Well, that's always our goal, is to sound trippy, but, hold on, I gotta drink beer.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta drink beer, too. Here we go.
Right. But, hey.
For what, burping? Freak.
Oh, well.
Yeah, right, oh well. So, what were you saying here about?
Oh, yeah, so, with 102 here, I think we were trying to make the lyrics, even though the music is, we're trying to still make dark and dreary at the same time, the lyrics, you know.
Yeah.
We're kind of trying to, I think, we were trying to suggest more positive things. Well, part 101, what are we saying here? Okay, like, we're finally on the right plane, so I guess that means we finally discovered a happy place for ourselves, and and the anxiety maybe perhaps has lessened a little, you know.
Yeah. Right. So it's part 1 though too, so it's kind of like, I see it kind of like as an intro to obviously the next 2 tracks. By the way, it's 3 tracks. You mentioned before, maybe more than 3.
Oh yeah, we mentioned earlier, yeah, we might do 4, 5, or 6. Well, it ended up being 3. And also because it's 102, it's like, okay, if this was like a college course or something, 101, 102. Well, obviously 102 should be a little more extensive than 101, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so that was kind of the goal, like it should be longer, and perhaps it should have had more tracks. But then we kind of decided, well, it kind of matches. It's, you know, the first one was 101 was 3 tracks, 102 is 3 tracks. It just kind of worked better that way. I don't know how much more sense to make out of that.
Yeah, but it did make sense. It did. So like you said, Zahn was saying, it's longer, but not much longer. It's a little more acceptable, but like you were saying too, it's 102 is a little more positive too. So it kind of is a graduation over 101. You know, it's like 101 was mostly kind of, I mean, outside of the music being dreary as well. It was the lyrics all the lyrics were kind of dreary for the most part in 101. You know.
Yeah, they were, and I guess, yeah, they kind of were, but yes, and so we kind of tried to suggest, well, you know, it's anxiety therapy, right? So instead of just talking about us having anxiety and it turning back into a thing where Jamie and Zahn are just talking about Jamie and Zahn again and getting self-indulgent, you know?
Yeah, it happens, man. I know it's a weird thing, but we apologize, but what can we say? We try to be good people, you know? We try. Our intentions be just, we can't help being weird, man. We can't help that a weird situation works for us. And we're not really in us. We're just one fucking dude sitting here. But this works for us. But anyway, enough of that.
Right. So yes, so the idea of 102 is that there were more kind of positive lyrics, and we tried to take the attention off of our fucking selves, right? A little less self-indulgent, and suggest more positive things, right here. Let your freak flag fly. The lyrics right here go, there's no need to, here we go. Stop freaking out of yourself, right?
Yeah, stop freaking out of yourself, you're right. Let your freak flag fly, yeah. And there's no reason to force yourself to live in a pretentious lie. Which is to suggest that whatever it is in your head, you know, some people, like, live in their head, and sometimes that's not a good thing, because they just sometimes think that certain standards are the, like, way things should be, and, like, maybe that's not the right way. You know, sometimes people are kind of too one-sided. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we're saying here. Right, well, right, don't be so one-sided, but also, it may be that is one thing that some people are like that, and that's something, that's one of one of many things that can create a shitload of anxiety. For no fucking reason. It doesn't mean a fucking thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why we're gonna say, and just, you know, and obviously, like, let your freak flag fly. I mean, obviously, Zon, I mean, that's kind of like stolen lyrics, man. Like, a million fucking songs have that. Let your freak flag fly. Obviously, we stole it from somewhere, didn't we?
Yes.
You know?
Right. But it's true. Let your freak flag fly. But also, there's no reason to force yourself to live in a pretentious lie. Just don't let your head fuck with you too much. Believe what you want to believe, and hey, freedom to that, you know, because you know.
Yeah, because what was another lyric was our own perception is all we can ever own. That was in 101. Yeah, 101 Part 2, I believe.
Yeah. Right, and then that's all true too. We're just as much an asshole, self-indulgent fucking people that try to, or one person, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That try to make music though. You know, we want what everyone else that does this shit wants. We want people to be able to read our lyrics and be like, oh yeah, we relate, you know.
Yeah, and they probably will, but it's a dream that us and so many other people have, right?
Yes. Anyway, we're on to part 2.
Yes, part 102. 102.2, that is. Now, this one, we mentioned earlier, like, that first one started with, like, this kind of news idea, and we had other ideas that we kind of, at first, I think we kind of wish we could have done whole albums out of those ideas, but then we kind of decided maybe it's a little easier just have that idea within one song that's, like, the laundry song that we mentioned earlier and shit like that.
Exactly. So now this one is kind of these lyrics here, now this suggests that, now part 102.1 was kind of like, yeah, finally we found our own utopia, and we're also suggesting that we hope others can do that too. Find your own utopias, you know, even if it's within your own head, which in a lot of cases it needs to be. And
I think it does in every case, man. I mean, no matter what your situation is, I mean, whether you're, whatever the fuck your life is, you're sitting there alone, or you have a family and people around you, I mean, whatever the fuck it is, I mean, there's still your own head that you live in, you know? I mean, there's no way to, I mean, without that, no one would exist in the first fucking place. That's all this really is. I mean, life in a big way is just a big old fucking illusion, you know?
yeah, it's true, no doubt. And yeah, exactly. So I guess that's kind of in our own very untalented ways is what we're trying to get across here with our lyrics and music and shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess, okay, so we're on 102.2, and so this one, you know, 102.1 was kind of how we find our own plane, but then 102.2 we're kind of going back. I think we're doing this like just we're trying to reach out to the people who, and obviously we're one of them, right? We've done this.
Absolutely.
That I don't know, like, I I don't know, let's put it this way, like, you have a good, positive day, finally you're like, fuck this, you, one minute, like, get the chaos out of your head, whatever it is, and you have a good day, and you say, fuck that, to all that, but then it comes back, man, it comes back, and I think it always comes back, and that's just part of fucking dealing with life. It's part of dealing with life is having to continuously throw the trash back out, man. It's like taking your garbage out. You always have to do it, or else it builds up into some, you know, into a whole bunch of more garbage. Makes things worse, you know. Bugs come, and figuratively speaking, of course.
Right, exactly. And so, yeah, so like with this track here, we're kind of going back. Oh well, to say I don't know. We're saying like, yeah, by part 102 we were supposed to have reached a good plane, but then sometimes, like you said, Jamie, it still comes back, and still you sit there in the smallest possible square, you know, trying to just sit there in your own little cave, you know, like, you know, it's as if you pull a blanket over your head and fuck the world, I'm just gonna sit here for the rest of my life kind of thing, you know, like
in the dark.
Yeah, right, in the dark.
Yeah, in the dark, like forever. Yeah, right. And so it's like, I guess what we're saying here is like, these things are gonna come back to you, man. That's just part of life too. Like, no matter, you know, even if you kind of figure out, like our whole trip here is, you know, anxiety therapy. So if we have anxiety and we do an album, like, and then it helps that anxiety. It'll help, but it's not the cure, right?
Right, exactly well put. It's not the cure, but it helps. And it's just, all it is throwing out the trash for the rest of your life until finally you can't do anymore. We're all gonna die. You know?
Yeah, right. We're all gonna die. It's like Carlin said, man. The whole point of life is to keep fucking living, you know. Do you want to say the song?
Yes. We're gonna have to leave you alone just for a second here. We'll be right back. More than a few seconds. We gotta go pee. We'll be right back.
Yes. Please enjoy the rest of the show.
Okay, we're back, and we have washed our hands, haven't we?
You're damn right. We believe in good oral hygiene. Okay, so... Oh, and what were we going to mention about the drums on? We have real drums in here.
Yes, really quickly. I guess, you know, we may have to do two commentaries because this one we're kind of talking about the instruments, the next one might talk about the lyrics. Well, let's see how quick we can pack this bullshit in here. Anyway, let's mention this really quickly here, that this track, first of all, 101 first of all, and everything before that since defreezes had just keyboard drums, no actual drums. Part 101 as well, all keyboard drums, but part 102 is the first, not the first, actually, the laundry song.
Yeah, the laundry song. We did last summer, A Little Time in the Laundry Room. That was the first of anything we did since Zonda, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even Zonda.
I know, it was morning coffee, Saturday morning coffee, zombie transformation. And somewhere between zombie transformation to the HeelerZ and Jamie Zahn, which is now, it's called HeelerZ, is where we kind of discovered Jamie Zahn. So.
Right. So anyway, so that was the first thing we'd done since 2012 that had real drums, actual drums. And now part 102, anxiety 102 here is the first thing outside of the laundry song that since 2012, you know,
yeah,
has real drums. And it's kind of a combo though. Let's see, really quickly, part 101. Shit, we gotta give credit to JV really quickly for part 102, part 1, because he did the drums on that one, on the first half. The first 5 or so minutes, he did actual drums. That's him playing drums. And on the second half, well, he only played for that first half, so we did the second half all with the keyboard drums. I think it was all keyboard drums.
I think, yeah, that, like, the second half of 102 part 1 was. But then 102, however, which is almost over now, but what you've just heard there was all real drums. That was all just a one-track thing.
Yeah, that was, the drums on there that was a one microphone recording of an entire 5-piece set. So, and we did the best we could on that. And you know, we did that years ago, like the Christmas album, forever we did, you know, ago we did that with one, and the most, I never had more than 2 microphones on drums. That's the most mics I've ever had recording drums. You know, one on the bass drum, one on everything else. And that one, these last few here, the Laundry song and the 102 stuff here, was all just, was one mic on the drums, on actual drums there.
Kick ass. Well, it came out too bad. So.
Yeah, not too shabby. Sometimes I feel like the shit needed more still of it.
Man, I don't know. I think we've done enough, man. It didn't part 102, part 1 have like 32 or 3 tracks.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, that's true, you're right. 102, part 3.
Okay, so now we've had a little glitch there, which, this may sound weird. Son of a bitch. The computer went to fucking sleep, which I don't understand why it does if we're in the middle of a fucking function here. Not the computer, but the monitor.
Yeah, son of a bitch. So we had to start part 102, part 3 over. Anyway, hopefully we covered enough. I think we talked about enough about the other 2. Let's go on to part 102, part 3. And here we are. So anyway, we were just talking about the drums, how we did the drums on the first 2, and now part 103, let's mention that really quick, drums.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, so these drums now, I want to mention that our friend JV, the first percussion thing we recorded here was what he did was sorry about that.
Go on, man.
Okay. So JV took a crash cymbal, 2 pieces of Scotch tape, and 2 pennies. He taped the 2 pennies onto the cymbal, and he just played cymbals through, or at least the first half of this thing. Because, you know, JV also mentioned that some of these songs he thought were like 2 songs. He kind of heard them as 2 songs, which I guess, you know, they could be.
Yeah. They could be. I suppose they could be. Yeah, and that's kind of how we get away with, like, you know, doing like an EP with 3 songs, because it's actually 6 songs.
Yeah, there we go. We could always use that excuse if we wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, like, mention the drums on here.
Yeah, so what we got here is JV doing this neat sounding crash cymbal stuff with the 2 pennies taped, and I'd never seen that before, heard that before. That was really good. It gave it like this awesome super extra sizzle, you know.
Sizzle, it's sizzling, man.
Yeah. So we had that, and then now, and I had to apologize to him for this, because he's not a big fan at all of, like, the fake keyboard drums. He's more of a fan of the real stuff, which I've always been too. It's just that, well, you know, when we started with D-Freeze, it was, all that shit was happening. I don't know. It was a weird time in our life, and at that point, it had been 2 years since we recorded anything, and we needed a project. We finally realized, fuck, let's do a music project again. And at that point, we moved everything upstairs, and then realized we could just do percussion and keyboards. And it was just kind of easier and more direct, and we could, like, do the whole drum recording on a track in one night and have it fucking done, you know. So
yeah, it's convenient, and I think, you know, I don't think some of it sounds too bad. I think it's just like, you know, like the snare and the bass sounds pretty damn good, but like the cymbals are like really canny and kind of big sounding though.
Yeah, so and so that's kind of what we have going here on part 102, part 3 is we had those cymbals from JB, the real stuff going there, but then kind of the rest of this stuff here we just did with like keyboard, bass, drum sounds, and snare drum sounds here. So that's it for the music. Well, actually, I think we described the drums in this whole damn project more than anything else. I don't know what the fuck to talk about.
Yeah, we won't know till we hear this again. We always have to like go back and listen to it a couple million fucking times and edit it or make sure it's okay, or, you know, this may not even be the one that comes out, you know, right?
Right. We may have to redo the whole damn thing. We could probably, even if we decide this is a bad one, we could probably still do it tonight.
That's possible. It's possible. And you know what, though? We haven't talked much about, like, we kind of need to get back to the meaning here really quick. Like, let's just kind of recap, as we did on the commentary on 101 too, you know. So like part 101 was kind of like, we finally found your utopia. And then part 102 too was like, you know, yeah, but it kind of sometimes can come back to you. And that's when we tried to like just have more lyrics that were like not just so self-indulgent, you know, and just try to speak to the others, like you know, like we're not saying this can help, like if this could help anybody, that would be great. It's not going to help everyone though.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, and so 102.1 was that, and then 102.2 was kind of just, yeah, that you can still come back, man, but just maintain it. But I think our idea is that we're still trying to be positive, kind of like positive lyrics, you know, just, it's kind of like if you're sitting there alone, man, like, don't kill yourself, like, you know, find, you know, like, just find peace within your own head, man, like, split your own atom, which is what we've done, you know, like, kind of, like, spiritually, figuratively in your head, split your own atom. And, you know, and there's nothing wrong with talking to yourself, because that's what we've been doing for, right?
Yeah, forever. Well, not forever, but, well, yeah, well, really forever, but let's just say that Jamie and Zahn and HeelerZ have been talking to themselves since January 14, because I really kind of see, like, Defreeze as being our first HeelerZ, Jamie Zahn project. I think that's where this whole thing's really, really started. I mean, it was kind of there, the idea, kind of, but we really figured out what it was by then, you know?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. That's really where we came together. Really quickly, I want to mention, we talked about part 1, 102.1, 102.2, 102.3. You had this idea of, tell the story.
Okay, so one night, we've been in this house for over 13 years now. I've never seen this until last summer. We had a good, you know, a big old rain come through. And you know, I'm letting Beans out through the garage to go out to the bathroom, and there's like, the garage floor is that, like, big 2-piece cement thing where you know, I know people have seen these garages before where big 2-piece cement thing for the floor, and then right in the middle there's the one, well, it's not a crack, it's actually just the separation between the 2 pieces, but we call it a crack.
Yeah, right.
And I never saw this happen before until last summer. I let Beans out, and there's these worms trying to crawl out through there, you know, because it was raining, and, you know, whenever, obviously, you know, it rains, the worms have to crawl out, because, you know, they live in a wet environment, but they can't live in total water like some creatures, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're crawling out to, you know, try to live, right? And I see these 2 or 3 or 4 worms, you know, just through that one middle part of the garage floor there, like sticking out, trying to crawl out of there. And obviously, I've always seen other worms, like whenever it rains like that, worms like get into the garage floor. It happens, but it's the first time last summer I've seen like actually seen them crawling out of that middle part, and so I just had this idea of, the lyrics,
One crack through their garage floor, of worms, one chance of life, or else no more.
Exactly. And that's just where that idea derived from, and then I kind of incorporated into like it just being like a metaphor for life, like look what worms have to go through, and
Yeah, right. Like worms. What was the line? Worms don't get their last cruise in a chill hearse.
Exactly. Like humans. There's so much. Humans are the worst species in the world because they have so much. They put so much importance on being humans. Stop that.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Quick little break here. I need a beer, and so does Jamie.
Damn right. Let's finish this fucker, and we may have to grab another one, and also we may need to get a, well,
Yes. Pack that thing up again.
Exactly. So so the worm thing goes on.
Yeah. So we had this idea of comparing that to like just real life. Like, look what worms go through, and not to mention all these other species. And here we are. Somebody dies, they get this big funeral, this big celebration. Worm dies in someone's garage floor. Most people don't care.
Yeah, it's shriveled up worm. What do? They throw it away. They sweep it. It's amazing how humans have so much importance on human life, and yet I don't think most humans understand that everything is life. Like an amoeba had a life as much as you did. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like they all still have feelings no fucking matter what. Everyone's gonna have fucking feelings. Like dogs and cats and everyone else and worms, and fish, and they all just have feelings, and it's just, you see these worms just trying to crawl through this garage floor just to fucking breathe for another day, get through another storm, and not to mention, there are people dealing with those climates as well.
Well, that's true. That's true. As much as humans suck.
Yeah, they do. That's why we do this.
Exactly. But you're right. There are, look at all these people are just, there's homeless people. They're dealing, some of them are crawling through mud too and trying to get out of floods as well. You're right. And so kudos to, we're not, I guess I can't say all humans are pieces of shit. Some of them deal with some serious shit,
Yeah, it's true.
So, then I guess, I don't know what we're trying to do with this anxiety shit. This whole thing started with having anxiety. So we had an idea. Let's have anxiety. We're freaking out. What do we do? Hey, let's try to start creating music, and we'll call it, we'll have it be based on having anxiety. So here we are.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's good. It's good that you bring that up because I guess, well, first of all, the commentary, it's the album's over. We should not make this probably too much longer. Let's see, 39 and 12 seconds in, 39 minutes and 15 seconds in now. This commentary and the whole thing is like 28 minutes, so we're already like, it's on. Had probably said enough, and we should probably see how much we fucked it up and how drunk we were, and see how much we covered and how much we didn't cover, and all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, I want to mention one thing. 101 was recorded on the old computer, and 102 was recorded on this new one, and so it's kind of different. There's in a way, I kind of feel like 102 is, in some ways, kind of a separate album to 101, even though they both tie together,
Yeah, well, it was kind of a different experience, but every recording is, but yeah, that's true too. Even though they were kind of tied. Well, originally that was our idea, was just to do free anxiety therapy for the pooR, and then we realized the old computer was getting on its last leg. We better finish up these first three we're working on. That's why we decided to split it into 101 and 102, which became a college course that you can take.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking bullshit we make up, but that's our, this is our leisure, people. Please excuse us from that, pardon us if we talk to ourselves, right?
Exactly. It works, man. It works, people. And for some of those of you out there that may be sitting there alone, and you know, I know people like this. That I know a couple of people that like they live alone, and they feel like what's my purpose in life? I should be doing all these things that I'm not doing. What the hell's wrong with me? And I just say, stop sweating that shit, man. Be your own friend, man. You gotta kind of look out for numero uno, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you can make numero uno more than one numero uno.
Exactly. And it's not like there's a one and two, uno and dos either. We're just, whatever's in our head is number one. So I guess that's kind of the message too here is, you know, at least that's one thing that maybe we can do here with our anxiety album to maybe help someone to lessen their anxiety. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's always the goal. If we can help anybody, great. If not, well, anyway, alas, here's our fucking album for the year.
Yeah, no shit. So, all right. So, Zon, I don't know, man. Hold on just a second. Let me just do one thing here. So I think my vocals kind of went in and out as far as being good, bad, and I don't know.
Well, actually, I kind of thought, I think maybe it's just because I worked on it more, whatever. I mean, I think your vocals were fine on 101, but I think they actually got a little better on 102. I just think that maybe in a way, you know, the 102, it's supposed to progress from 101, just like a college course or something, right? So maybe that's progressing. I mean, this thing was a fucking doozy. We started out, oh my god, was this just a mess. It took so fucking long. Actually, it started out okay, and then we just it was on hiatus, and we spent a few weeks not even working on it. It was just kind of,
Yeah, we've been down this road before, though, with a few things. It's just like we get about halfway into recording shit, and it's like, oh my god, it's going nowhere. This is a piece of shit. What can we do with this besides throw it away? But, you know, I think we've gotten out of that, you know? I mean, I think it was a lot of chaos, and maybe it took too much time, Zon, but at the same time, maybe it's a good thing that it took so much time that, I mean, in a way, we were kind of forced to spend more time on it, so, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, in the end, I mean, it was, you know, well, at least once we got back into it, there was kind of like two halves to this 102. The first half I recorded, and then we kind of didn't do shit, and then we kind of got back just within the last maybe month and a half or two, and, you know, finished this whole thing, and I guess maybe it got a little, because of, like you said, we kind of took more time on it, but because we took more time on it, it was a fucked up mess, but I guess in the end, it wasn't as bad. Put it this way, like, a couple months ago, I was thinking, this thing isn't going to get any better than it fucking is. But then we came back, cracked down on it one more time, and I think now it's not so bad.
Yeah, no. It's not bad at all. Well, you know, I mean, we don't know if anyone will like it or not, but in the end, who cares, right, Zon? This is our outlet. This is Jamie and Zon. This is our thing, and if people want to be a part of it, that's awesome. And if not, that's cool, too. We'll keep doing our Jamie and Zon thing, and, you know, we have our friends, and fuck the rest of the world, right?
Pretty much. Right? We love you, and fuck you.
Exactly. Truest phrase ever. Absolutely true. So, Tom, we should probably end it here.
Yes. Let me just say it's December 8th, 2017, 9:48 p.m. We're ending this early.
Yeah, it's kind of early ending for a commentary, but that's cool. It'll give us time to review it and see what we can do with it and all that shit and see if it works.
Yes. And we did have the idea of going back and doing another commentary on the entire 101 and 102, because we have a commentary that we did months ago on just 101. Obviously, this is the commentary on just 102, so we were kind of, you know.
We were kicking that idea around. We're not sure if it's even worth doing, and does it even matter or not. Well, Don, I think it's just up to us. You know, if we want to do it, we will. If not, fuck it. No one else cares anyway, for the most part. So, we'll just do what we feel is our leisure and live in our little world here, and everything's cool, right?
Exactly. Right on. Okay. So, 9:49. Now it's 9:49, December 8th, 2017. That was our commentary on free anxiety therapy for the pooR, part 102. It's actually just called free anxiety therapy for the pooR 102. That's our commentary. We're going to go back and see if this is worthy of posting. This is Zahn Martin Richardson. You are. What?
It's just the way you said it again.
What? You are. What?
Yes. You are. You are. I can't do your voice.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, who are you?
Who are you? I'm sorry.
Come on.
Anyway, he's Zahn Martin Richardson. I am Jamie Robin Richardson. And we are here, of course, with Beanslove Richardson, our companion buddy here. Our other half. Even though, anyway, there's one of us and one of Beans, but there's kind of two of us in the head and one of Beans. For all we know, Beans has got two in her head, too. Who knows? We're not here to judge.
No, absolutely not. Anyway, wrap it up.
Okay. So good night. That's our commentary on the 102. And we will see you in the future with more weird commentaries or something like that. Okay? So good night from Jamie Robin Richardson.
And good night from Zahn Martin Richardson, Beanslove Richardson. Special thanks again to JV for the drums, tracks, the various guitar tracks, and the help on some of the mixing on part 102 here. Good night from HeelerZ.
Good night from HeelerZ.